Would you rather, for the next 5 years, have Burrow or Mahomes as your quarterback?
I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. And here's why. Listen, we all, listen, we know about the talent. We know about the talent of Patrick Mahomes. We see the no-look passes. We see all the off-platform stuff that, a lot of us have never seen before out of the quarterback position. But I think I think Patrick Mahomes kind of spoke about it in that little clip right there. Sometimes it's about the intangibles. And what Joe Burrow has done for that Cincinnati Bengal, not just the offense, but the whole organization, it's almost like he's brought a chip on his shoulder to the whole organization. The confidence, the quiet swagger that the whole organization is having right now. And that's all because of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, obviously, #1 pick. He has all of the physical traits, physical tools, and all that. But when you talk about the quarterback position, a lot of it is about being leader of men. And Joe Burrow really instills that within this Bengals offense. The confidence that he gives these guys. And listen, we haven't even talked about the offensive talent that surrounded Joe Burrow. 2 wide receivers over 1,000 yards. Tyler Boyd, who could start for a lot of teams in this league, and Joe Mixon, who's over 1,000 yards rushing. That plays a lot of it in it too. But Joe Burrow, man, I've never seen a guy who was a #1 overall pick, and it just seems like he has a chip on his shoulder off of that. And so when you combine the physical tools with the intangibles of just wanting to go out there and destroy your opponent week in and week out like he did the Baltimore Ravens, that could be a recipe for what a lot of people don't want to see, particularly in the AFC moving forward.
I agree, D. Wood. That could definitely be a recipe for what a lot of people don't want to see moving forward. But Patrick Mahomes already is the recipe of what people don't want to see right now and in the past. The last 3 years, he's won MVP, gone to 2 Super Bowls. This last month, he's been the AFC Player of the Month. And even more importantly, all the stuff that you've said, because I'm with you, Joe Burrow has that it factor. Like, this dude is special, period. So this is no discredit to him. But I just have seen Patrick Mahomes has found ways to win already, and we've seen that, right? 4-0 in December with great numbers, whereas Joe Burrow 2-2, right? Joe Burrow's numbers are actually just as good, if not better, in this last month than Mahomes. And so for me, yes, I know that Kansas City's defense has been dominant the last 8 weeks. I get that. And I love Joe Burrow, but I've seen Mahomes do it before, time and time again, year in and year out. And so I think that Joe Burrow can actually do everything you're saying he can do, put the team on his back, put the organization on his back, put the entire city on his back. I think he can do it. I've just seen Pat Mahomes do it already.
Hey, Acho, it sounds like you making my argument for me. Everything you saying is you talking glowingly about Joe Burrow.
Lots of disclaimers in his argument.
Hey, brother, it's okay. It's okay to come on over to the side. Like, we can be in agreement. We cool like that. Listen, here's what I'm going to say as well. Another aspect to this is where you land, okay? Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, the Chiefs traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. And he comes into an organization with Andy Reid and Alex Smith at the quarterback position. I mean, talk about coming into a really good situation, as opposed to Joe Burrow going to the perennial laughingstock that is the Cincinnati Bengals, and obviously Zach Taylor, the head coach. And to be able to lift this organization up to where we don't look at the Bengals as, we look at the Bengals as they're a legitimate team. They're a legitimate threat because of what Joe Burrow brings to the table, not only physically, but just the intangibles and how it is able to permeate through the whole organization. And it just culminated last week in a drubbing against the bullies in the AFC North and the Baltimore Ravens. I just think that, man, what Joe Burrow is doing and where Joe Burrow is going, I mean, we could be talking in quick order. Joe Burrow could be the best quarterback in the league.
Wow.
But D Wood, there's a difference between what someone is doing and is where someone is going, as opposed to what someone has done and where someone has been. Patrick Mahomes has
but Sam, the question is,
what's the next 5 years?
In 5 years,
exactly.
We're not talking about the past. We're talking
but you're talking like
5 years.
Yeah, but you're talking as if Patrick Mahomes is some 30, 40, 35-year-old quarterback whose future is behind him. Patrick Mahomes, this is fourth. Started the last 3 years, going to his fourth year starting, right? Like you're talking like Patrick Mahomes is just old news and some loose change on the street, right? Joe Burrow, I have to give Joe Burrow credit.
I'm not disrespecting I'm not disrespecting that man like that.
I'm just saying, I have to give Joe Burrow credit because anybody who knows football or watches football or knows anything about anything knows that Joe Burrow is a monster and a beast. So I have to come here and give him his credit. But we cannot, in the same vein, while giving Joe Burrow credit, discredit Patrick Mahomes. We cannot discredit that not only now and the past, but the next 5 years. I'm like, man, you talk about weapons, Tyler Boyd and all the weapons that Cincinnati has. I think that Pat Mahomes has weapons too. Tyreek Hill, I think he's a weapon, right?
Yeah, everyone's healthy now.
Travis Kelce is a weapon. McCall Hardman, weapon. I think that defensively, Kansas City has weapons. And so if you want to talk about from a macro perspective, from a team perspective, because you brought that up earlier, who don't want the next 5 years? You said Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Okay, great. Give me all that. But then give me Kansas City. Give me their defense. Give me Travis Kelce. Give me Tyreek Hill. So I think they are both great and going to be great. But who I want for the next 5 years, I want Patrick Mahomes because he's done it before and I think he'll do it again.
Yeah, well, when you look at these stats over the course of this season alone, there is really not too much. We're really
the only difference is winning.
Straws right here.
The only difference is winning.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.